Hello everyone and welcome to Mind Garbage. My name is Eric Myers. If you didn't know, Mind Garbage is a show that airs every Monday at 9 o'clock, and I talk to you about whatever I want for roughly 10 minutes. You may notice I am sounding a little under the weather. That is because I am in fact sick, so this is going to be a bit of a shorter Mind Garbage, and talking about a topic that is not necessarily in the zeitgeist right now, but one that I have opinions of. I want to talk about remasters. Remasters are not anything new, really. We've seen them, I think, for almost as long as the gaming industry has been around. One of the earliest examples that I can think of, and obviously I know this is not the earliest, but one of the ones that I think of is Super Mario All-Stars, which included Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, and I think Lost Levels of 2. And I think I could be wrong, don't quote me, there were special cards that included World End on it. And they had, new music, they had a little bit updated visuals, and it is widely considered like the best collection ever, which I can't disagree with. It's fantastic. The problem I feel like lately with remasters and why they have gotten such a bad rap is because of the way that current gaming systems have gone. I feel like during the 360 era and PS3 era, even PS2, there wasn't a whole lot of remasters, and when they came, they were special and they were collections. Sony is really kind of the ones that started to pioneer this later, where you had the God of War collection, Ratchet and Clank, and Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, and all their big popular ones where it was like, hey, here's a collection of games. Once we moved into the PS4 and Xbox One era of games, and again, I'm not talking about PC in this regard, mainly because you can do whatever you want on there. This is specifically for consoles, but mainly in that era you started this thing where backwards compatibility was not easy to do, and in fact Xbox doing it was such a huge thing that it was completely shocking. It's like, how are they able to pull this off, because they said that they couldn't. And so then you enter this era of remasters, and remasters that are coming out less than a year from when the game was originally released. So, like, perfect example of this is Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Now, it's not technically a remaster, but it is a much better visual upgrade compared to, say, the 360 version that came out, and then when you have the PS4 and Xbox One version of it, where it was launched at 1080p, 60 frames per second, new physics, new visuals, all this stuff. And so it was released at full price, and I'm part of the problem. I bought it, and I enjoyed my time with it. And I think the thing, though, with remasters, that why they get such a bad rap recently is because of the way that they're released, and then the price at which they come out, and the amount of content that they have. Even recently, Bulletstorm just came out, which is a game that is totally fine, is a good game, a 7 out of 10 fun shooter. I purchased it, the remastered edition, and the reason why I did is because with Amazon Prime, I'm able to get like a big old discount on it. So I got it at the price that I feel like it's worth it for 4K and 60 frames and all that stuff. But the problem is that, and I didn't even know this, is that now that it's out, the pre-order price is stripped away, because I thought it was $50, which I'm like, oh, that's already ridiculous, but it's $60. And for one of the big pieces of DLC that it has is, hey, you can play as Duke Nukem in this Duke Nukem tour, and it's really funny and interesting. And I actually enjoy it so far, what I've been doing with it, because I think it's totally silly and ridiculous to run around as Duke Nukem, and he has no idea why he's there, but he is, nonetheless. But the problem with it is that it was a day one DLC, and it was stripped away from the pre-order, or basically there was a pre-order bonus for it. If you didn't pre-order it, you don't get it for free, and you have to pay $5 on top of an already $60 thing. And this was kind of talked about in Jim Sterling's recent Jimquisition. The thing that I find so ridiculous about it is the fact that there's not a whole lot of extra content to it, if any at all. All there is really is the campaign and, like a little like score chaser kind of mode, and then this thing. For the price I paid for it, I'm fine with it, but I can't fathom that someone's going to walk into a GameStop or a Walmart or anywhere and pick up this game off the shelf that came out in 2011, so 6 years ago, and they're going to look at it and be like, well, this isn't really new. Why is this treated as though it's a brand new game? And to me, it bums me out because Bulletstorm, I think, is an awesome idea, awesome concept, and I would personally love to see a sequel. This doesn't help you guys get a sequel out there. And this is where remasters come in that aren't a good idea, is where you're remastering a game that nobody asked for, which really is Bulletstorm. No one needed a Bulletstorm remaster. I'm glad it's there, but that's because I'm stupid. So you have a game that nobody asked for, you're putting no extra love or content in it at all, and then you're throwing in a piece of DLC that is interesting and funny, but then you're charging for it? That doesn't make any sense to me. I get it if it's a pre-order bonus for a time limit and then it's free to everyone else. That's totally cool to me. But the fact that you're going to charge $5 for essentially a reskin, and it's cool to hear his voice, but he adds literally nothing to the story. The characters still call you Grayson. You are literally just reskinned as Duke Nukem, and he has lines. He's like, oh, I'm Duke Nukem. But that's a problem. But we do get into this other kind of gray area where games can come out where it's a collection. I think of the Mega Man Legacy Collection is one that came out with 6 Mega Man games, $20. And in fact, Capcom has been the one to me, the one publisher to me, that has been doing remasters and repackaging and reselling their games right. And regardless if they come out and, say for example, Dead Rising 2, and Off the Record, they come out and it's like, there isn't much new here, but they're selling it to me at an appropriate price, $20. The reason why I think $20 is an appropriate price is because it's an impulse buy. Figure you're shopping on the PSN store, it was your birthday or whatever happens, you get a gift card or whatever, or you're just a man or a woman. I'm not a judge or anything like that, but you have some money. You want to buy something, and you're like, I haven't played Dead Rising in a while. It's $20. What do I care? Download. That's a lot easier to swallow than 60. And then you have another collection that I actually really enjoyed, which is the BioShock collection. BioShock is one of my favorite games of all time, and I never had gotten around to playing Infinite, and I messed around with 2, but it's nice to be able to go in there and actually, mess around and play with it. And I think because of the whole, as I was stating earlier, with the way that things were working with the backwards compatibility was not going to be a thing, it's unfortunate because this needed to happen to where we had to get these games on the platform and be sold. But the problem is that they're being sold with literally no extra bells and whistles, and in fact, some of them are actually worse. For instance, I purchased Payday 2 when it came out to 360, and I played a ton of that with my friends. That was my last hurrah on my 360 before my PS4 came. And even during the time when I had my PS4, I'm still going back to Payday, playing that, having a good time. And then Payday 2 was getting a PS4 port, and I was insanely excited. I pre-ordered it, I got my friends to pre-order it, we all got on there and excited, and honestly, it's probably the worst port I've ever played. The optimization of everything is really wonky. There's tons of dead zones on it. There's literally no visual upgrade whatsoever. And it doesn't run at 60 frames per second, which is like shocking to me. There's no reason why that game shouldn't, especially because it's not a graphically demanding game. When you're playing a first-person shooter, I want 60 frames per second. And that's where we all boil down to this, where remasters are sadly mistreated, and I think that it's an opportunity to celebrate a game's legacy. Look at something like the Modern Warfare Remastered thing that happened. Modern Warfare Remastered is an amazing remaster that is unfortunately locked behind a game that for a lot of people didn't like. And myself, I enjoyed Infinite Warfare, but Modern Warfare Remastered is a love letter to that game. Beautiful. I mean, really beautiful. Multiplayer still plays the same way you want, and there's added bells and whistles, which I'm not a big fan of, but hey, it's there if you want it. But it's locked behind something. Same thing with South Park Stick of Truth. That's a game that is great, and I got to play it, and unfortunately, where's Fractured But Whole, and it's locked behind that paywall. That's not fun, So my thing to what I would love to see remasters start doing is, let's take a game that people really care about, or a collection of games, like a series. And let's put them all together at a price that, even if it's a full price game, give us something extra, maybe a little documentary or whatever, what have you, visual upgrades and all that sort of stuff. Give people a reason to say, I want to buy this collection, or I want to buy this remaster because it's a good price and I miss this game and it's got extra stuff in it. So, yeah. Sorry. My goodness, I don't feel well. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you'd like, you can follow me on Twitter at EricMyers93, link down below. You can like the video, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff with your friends and whatnot. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys next week.